All right, we'll open up discussion for just a little bit. If you'd like to share anything in your study through this week or about the message.
Yes, I had an interesting week, and one of the things I'm kind of laughing at a little bit is it says that that you don't have to worry about clothes, and something happened this week where I didn't have any more clothes anymore. And as a matter of fact, these one I'm wearing here from Salvation Army yesterday. But I want to go back to something that happened to me a long time ago. I want you to relate to you, and I want to edify the body. And I talked about this a long time ago, and we talked about the silver thread, how something terrible happens to us, and you don't know why, and you're going through a lot of hard times. You may not even be close to the Lord to really help you through it. And that happened to me several years ago, about 25 years ago. I was a college professor for 25 years. And I also had a professional practice of estate planning, retirement planning for 25 years, and other things. And in a single moment, it was all lost, all gone. And if you're with the Lord, like I have since I was 6 years old, you go through those things with the Lord's help, because you have your mind on the Lord and not on the horrible things that are happening to you. But a vicious pit bull, got a hold of me. I was going out the front door. I locked the front. He came closer and closer, and then finally he attacked. I ran around the back and just got into the back door. And I just got in. He had my foot, but it just got in, and I hit my head on the cement steps. And it took me 3 years to heal from that. But I knew I didn't know what it was that happened, because I had blood all over the place, all over the apartment. And somehow I tried to wash it out. I don't know. Evidently they told me, I called the police to tell them about this vicious pit bull so it wouldn't hurt anybody else. But it took me 3 years to really recover from it. So I had a pretty nice estate going for me, and it was all washed away. I couldn't teach anymore. I tried to keep my practice open for a couple more years, but I couldn't concentrate, so that I had to let that go. I couldn't sell it, so I ended up with nothing. And that's what brought me up to this piece of land here. So what I'm saying is, and by the way, what I'm really trying to say is, I didn't fret. When I woke up in the morning, and I found blood all over the place and woke up and tried to stand. I fell out on the floor and started to crawl. I was laughing my head off. I mean, I knew something happened, but I didn't know what. But the Lord's with me. I don't fret, I don't get upset and stuff like that, except for maybe losing all my clothes. But other than that, so that happened then. So this week, I had another one. I was in my cabin, and I had this beautiful place on the water over there, 15 acres over in East Wakefield, and right on the state line, Maine and East Wakefield, New Hampshire. And I was just sitting in my chair, and all of a sudden I saw this in my patio right next to me, outside my place. I saw a big flame go up. And walked over to the sink, and I took a look at it, and it was just a little noise that shot right up out there. And so I got my things, and it was right near my propane tanks. So I got out and ran around the other side and pounded on somebody's door, who was a fireman. He wasn't there. So anyway, when it was all over, it was about 6 fire engines from all over New Hampshire and Maine, and it was quite an ordeal. But all through that, I was just sitting in the chair and just joking around with people like I always do, and the Lord is with me. And so I had this fire, and it just took everything away from me. and not even my clothes. Just I had a pair of shorts, but I didn't eat in almost 4 days, and the shorts started falling down to my knees. I didn't have a belt, so I mean it's all those things are. So I look at it as I'm laughingly. I really do. I'm still laughing about it now. But the Lord is with me, and it's so important for all of us to get close to Him, not walk with Him, get to know Him, pray in the morning, because if you don't know Him, then how could you be close to Him? And they both go together, and that's what we need to do. It's a daily walk. I've been doing it for a long, long time, for 25 years, all alone up there in my place, and it was just Him and me. And it's like He was just walking with me all those days, and I'm so glad for Him. I can't even imagine life without my Lord walking with me on a regular basis every day. So, so a lot's going on there, and some neighbors have gotten involved and dropping stuff off, and they're going to help me out a little bit there to get going again. I do have a museum, another building I'm staying in right behind there. It's not really fully equipped, but it'll do, So, okay, I guess that's it.
Let's pray for you, Jonathan. Lord, I thank you for Jonathan's life, and I thank you for just his willingness to share what he just experienced, Father. And I know I'm just encouraged by hearing his heart. It's exactly what we just talked about, not to be anxious about all these things. Lord, his identity in you and how he knows who you are as the one who sees him and loves him and provides for him. What a great illustration and example this is for all of us, Lord. And so I pray you continue to fill him. I pray you would help us as a church be able to come around him now with this information, to just love him, to support, to provide for him, to be the body in action, Lord. And so we look forward to seeing how you'll provide and how you'll continue to take care of John.
Well, I better apologize then, because I usually come up here with the intent of being quick. Well, talking about knowing God will provide. As a young man, I'm not a man of the word, never have been. I don't study it like a lot of people do. But I've always known that God was there taking care of me. Graduated 17 years old, probably with a 8th, 9th grade education. Didn't know what I was going to do. Hippie, smoking pot and all that stuff, okay? But when I was in high school, I worked for a company. There was a maintenance company, and I cleaned colleges. We drive from halfway between Worcester into Boston, and we'd clean colleges after the kids ate. Well, starts coming together when you see how God works. So that's all I knew coming out of high school. That's all I knew. And I painted a little too. So one day, I'm playing softball in this men's softball league, and a gentleman comes up to me and starts talking about this college. It is looking for a guy, cleaning company, to come in and clean colleges after the kids eat. And I think, I could do that. And I'm a cocky kid, I could do that. And he said, well, put your money where your mouth is. I said, I used to do that in high school. And so I went in. I had to go to an interview with a regional manager. I go up and I talk to this regional manager. We're sitting there talking. He asked where I'm from. Well, I'm from a small town where his best friend lived. Okay, and he said, do you know this guy? I said, yeah, I know this guy. I'm very good friends with his son. And I helped his son kick heroin. And then, so that kid lived with me for a while. And then I ended up living with his family. Well, how did that happen? How did the fact that this guy, a regional manager, knew this guy that I knew very well, that I lived with, who could be my reference? Again, that was God working that whole thing, was something I knew. So I started my first business at 20 years old with no business education, and that just carried out. Then I started a painting company because I had learned painting. I didn't get a degree in anything, but I learned things, and I put those things to work. And every time I needed something, God provided. We needed $3,000 to pay the bills next month. And I'd say to my wife, how much money do we need? She goes, we need $3,000. I said, don't worry about it, we'll get it. And that didn't go over big with her all the time, because I said, don't worry about it. But then I'd get up in the morning and say, I got to go find Steve. And I'd pull out my driveway, go down the road, get to the end of my road, and guess who would be driving by? Now, this happened to me so many times I can't count. There'd be Steve driving by. I'd toot the horn, talk to Steve, say, what do you got going on? I'd have work. This happened my whole life. So that's why I know there's God, and that's why I know He will always provide, all the time. All right, thank you.
Yeah, his faithfulness is such a great thing to remind ourselves of when we have anxiety, right? When there's something that needs to happen, to remind ourselves of how faithful God is.